What is up, Grizzlies fans? This is another episode of Talkin Grizz. Joining us for the second time is Kristen Kenney, the Sideline reporter for the Utah Jazz. Thank you again for coming back on and chatting with us today.
Yay, I'm so excited to be here. Has it been a year? Oh, no, not yet. Not quite.
It was the bubble, so we're getting close.
We're very close. I know, it's all a blur.
What's been even more of a blur, I will say, is playing the Utah Jazz. We're going to have them for the third time in 6 days coming up. Obviously, you guys won the first 2, and then we both had 1 game. You guys beat Cleveland, and then we came and beat the Rockets. And we're back together again. How weird is it? We're going to have 3 games in a week with the same team.
I think it's so crazy. This is, when I saw it on the schedule, I had to double check. Wait, what? Really? It's kind of fun though too, because I feel like it is somewhat of a preparation for the playoffs, because you're playing the same team over and over in a short period of time. So you really get to work on things and see how teams adjust along the way. So that's good in terms of what it can bring you and teach you during this time. But talking with the guys, I was just talking to George Niang the other night after our win, not against you guys, but against the Cavs. And I asked him what he's going to expect, the third time around, but this time you're in Memphis. He's like, look, this is a dogfight. This Memphis team is super hungry. I mean, that's your DNA. Your team is hard to play. They are tough. And after dropping 2 against the Jazz here at home and being back on their turf, it's going to be a dogfight. It really is. So I think it's going to be great. And, like I mentioned before, George also reiterated it, that it's good as far as the growth for this group, getting these kind of games and these kind of challenges. So I'm excited about it, but it is a blur, right? Like I'm thinking, okay, wait, what happened in that game? What happened in this game?
It's hard to differentiate them to go into the third game. But what do you think in terms of, so our team, the second game was I feel like we would have liked to have the advantage, have the win, and have them adjust to us. But now that Utah has won both games, the Grizzlies are coming in being like, okay, what adjustments do we make after, we had a close comeback game sort of that first game. And then really you guys handled kind of the entire pace, the entire second game. So coming in, the Grizzlies are making the adjustments. Do you guys look for, same game plan, same whole everything, or is it kind of an advantage to us that we're a little more hungry maybe for the win?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting way to look at it. I think what happened in that second game, you guys dominated the entire second half of the first outing, and we didn't like that. That was not okay. And so it kind of was a kick in the butt wake-up call, which led to, within less than 24 hours later, coming back on the floor, home court, and coming out strong and playing all 4 quarters strong, because it was so fresh that second half was not good enough for the Jazz. But I think at this point, the tables are turned on your court, and losing 2. I think the team was that this is going to be a tough one. You guys are going to come out with adjustments. You've thrown already a lot at us, zone defense, and then the drop coverages. And we have been good at responding. I'm just curious to see how we respond on the road. And I think you guys are so hungry. Ja had that huge outing in the first game, but then was, I don't want to say quiet, but didn't have as much of a productive game in the second outing. So I would imagine that he would come in, right, wanting to do more, especially at home. So it'll be interesting to see the adjustments on both sides and how quickly the Jazz can respond, because that's been a big focal point for them, is see, we're getting thrown all these coverages. How do we respond? But I think that also starts with Donovan Mitchell. We're seeing something special with Donovan in these last 5 games that we haven't seen. And that's his starts and the way that he's coming out explosive right from the jump. And he is just playing at an MVP level. So, I think we go where Don goes. If Don is in that mode, it's tough.
Okay, so here's my question. And I was looking at the box scores of our 2 games, but then also kind of your last few games. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, they're going to have their big games. That's kind of the same as Ja Morant and Jonas Valanciunas. You know what you're getting from them mostly. You're going to have good, productive nights. I was looking at Jordan Clarkson, and tell me if I'm wrong, but the first outing, he shot 4 for 13, had 14 points. It was a close game. And then you guys come back, have a big win over us. He has 28 points in 29 minutes. I had to scroll back to the last time you guys lost a game, which took a while. And Jordan Clarkson only had 7 points. Do you consider him an X factor on this team, like from bench production standpoint?
100%. And I think all of his teammates agree and recognize that. And so they're always in his corner. He said he was going through a little bit of a slump, and he kind of poked fun at himself saying, oh, I'm laying brick on Twitter, which was kind of funny. But everybody's going to go through a slump, and he's recognized that. I think in that game, the first outing, he was struggling to find his shot. And then in the fourth quarter, he had 9 points and started to get going, but he was still in attack mode. He got to the stripe 5 times. So 4 or 5 from the stripe, I think was good to do other things to get going. And once he got those 9 points in that fourth quarter, then less than 24 hours later, he felt back in the groove, got the confidence going again, and acknowledged what was going on. Teammates were supporting him, Don's helping him, cheering him on, and then he just unleashed. Yeah, when he because he's our 6th man, coming off the bench, his production is so important, especially if Boyan's having a little bit of a shooting slump, or Joe Ingles, isn't knocking him down like he normally does. Jordan really needs to step up, and yeah, it's a great stat, because we do like that. There's so many weapons on this team. There is a correlation between when Jordan Clarkson is playing really well and the Jazz having these dominating wins that we're seeing.
Awesome. Well, we are excited to see the Utah Jazz once again for the 3rd time in a week. Thank you, Kristen, so much for your time today. And you guys aren't Fox, are you?
We are AT&T Sportsnet.
Yeah, I thought so. We had our last Fox broadcast, so I was going to say we'll catch you, but we're on Bally Sports now, so everyone tune in to Sports Southeast.
You swim.
We made the game against the Utah Jazz will be the first one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool. All right. That's awesome.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today. Grizzlies fans, you can always get more on grindcitymedia.com.